They will try. Life will throw its storms. People will misunderstand you, mock you, betray you, question your worth, and attempt to distract you from your calling. But listen to me closely. They can't break you if you stay unbothered. You were not designed to crumble. You were not made to retreat. You were born with a purpose so potent, so specific, that the mere fact of your resistance shakes the plans of your enemies. The power of staying unbothered is not arrogance. It is not ignorance. It is supreme focus, a level of mental discipline that refuses to be emotionally manipulated. It is the mindset of the one who has seen the goal, locked it in their heart, and sworn to reach it, regardless of the weather, the voices, or the delays. The man governed by emotion is like a leaf in the wind, one moment up, another down, controlled by everything but himself. But a man who chooses calm in chaos, who guards his peace as his most sacred weapon, cannot be touched. He becomes untouchable, not because the attacks stop, but because they no longer penetrate. Staying unbothered is a declaration of inner mastery. It says, I no longer dance to the music of chaos. It says, I no longer take opinions as prophecy. It says, I do not invest my soul in things that drain me, distract me, or destroy my peace. And that, my friend, is where real power lives. People will attempt to provoke you because your peace is a threat to their noise. Your calmness disrupts their need for control. When you no longer flinch at criticism, no longer beg for approval, no longer react to foolishness, you shift from victim to master. You transcend. They want you reactive, because a reactive man is easy to steer. A reactive man spends his days in defense, always answering, always explaining, always trying to prove. But an unbothered man, he doesn't explain, he doesn't shout, he doesn't waste time with what does not build him. He walks forward with vision in his eyes and peace in his chest. The secret to staying unbothered lies in knowing who you are. You do not respond to every dog that barks when you know you're a lion. You do not match the energy of confusion when you operate in clarity. Your peace is not laziness. It is strategic warfare. It is a message. I'm too focused on where I'm going to fight over where I've been. And yes, they will keep trying, but remember, they can only break what you hand to them. Stop handing them your reactions. Stop handing them your attention. Stop handing them your peace. The moment you stop giving it away, you start taking your power back. So when life screams, whisper back. When chaos rises, stand still. When they expect to fight, smile. When they want you rattled, remain grounded. That is the mark of the disciplined, the determined, the destined. That is the mindset of the unstoppable. Because when you stay unbothered, they can't break you. They can't even find the place where your peace lives, because you've hidden it in the safest vault of all, your decision. You've decided to keep walking. You've decided not to shrink. You've decided that calmness is your superpower. And you've decided, once and for all, that nothing and no one gets to break what God Himself has built inside you. Emotional discipline is not a luxury for the weak, nor is it a passive trait reserved for monks and mystics. It is the very furnace in which great men and women are forged. To remain unbothered in the face of insult, betrayal, provocation, or chaos is not to be numb. It is to be powerful. It is to choose where your energy flows and where your attention lands. The one who reacts to every slight, every whisper, every disappointment, spends his strength recklessly. But the one who remains calm amid the noise preserves his force like a warrior preparing for battle. He knows that energy is currency, and emotional outbursts are bankrupt decisions. The battlefield of life is not out there in the world, it is within. The wars we fight are not always against external enemies, but against our own impulses, our temptations to defend our pride, to retaliate against every hurt, to scream when silence is stronger, Emotional discipline is the armor that shields you when the arrows of misunderstanding, gossip, disrespect, and stress begin to fly. It is the inner command that says, I will not be moved by what was meant to move me off my path. When you remain unbothered, you are not declaring that you do not feel. You are declaring that feelings are not the ruler of your actions. The man who has mastered himself does not require peace around him to be peaceful. He creates peace by becoming peace. His calm is not the result of calm circumstances. It is the cause of them. He enters a room and lowers the temperature with his silence. He leads not by shouting louder, but by needing no noise to affirm his authority. In this world, the reactive man is predictable. You push him, he pushes back. You insult him, he explodes. You ignore him, he chases you for attention. But the man with emotional discipline does not play by those rules. You insult him and he smiles. You try to trigger him and he watches you like a surgeon observing a patient. Why? Because his emotions serve him. They do not command him. He knows that being unbothered is not retreat, it is restraint. It is strength, wrapped in wisdom. Reactions are expensive. Every time you respond emotionally to nonsense, you drain something from your soul. You lose time you won't get back. You lose mental space that could have been used for vision. You lose spiritual clarity that could have guided your next great decision. The emotionally disciplined man refuses to go broke in arguments that don't build. He does not respond to barking dogs when he's on his way to the mountain. He understands that the higher you go, the quieter you must become. Noise is a tool of distraction, and calmness is the sword that cuts through it. We must understand that discipline is not about suppression, it is about direction. You don't suppress anger, you redirect it into excellence. You don't suppress sorrow, you transform it into strength. You don't deny the storm, you walk through it with an anchored soul. And that anchor for the one who is wise is always in something greater than himself. It is rooted in God, because when man leans on his own power, his discipline is only as strong as his mood. But when a man is grounded in divine purpose, in eternal truths, his emotions bow to mission. Imagine what could happen if you were no longer owned by reactions. If you didn't feel the need to answer every critic, clap back at every insult, or prove your worth in every room. You would walk differently. You would rise earlier and sleep better. You would speak less but mean more. And most of all, you would begin to conserve your greatness for what truly deserves it. You would stop wasting your strength on things that only look like battles but are actually distractions in disguise. The most dangerous man in the room is not the loudest. It is the one who watches quietly, unmoved, because his soul is under control. Emotional discipline turns chaos into opportunity. It allows you to see clearly when others are blinded by offense. It empowers you to choose responses that move you forward instead of reactions that drag you backward. The man who remains unbothered is not cold, he is focused. And focus is the fire in which greatness is born. So if you want to rise, practice silence where others speak. Hold your ground when others collapse. Think while others react. Preserve your peace like a warrior preserves his sword. Only draw it when it serves your mission. For in this life you will be tested, not just by tragedy but by irritation, not just by storms but by whispers, and your ability to remain unmoved will decide whether you remain small or rise to mastery. They will try. The world will throw everything it can to shake your spirit, rattle your nerves, and steal your strength. But remember this, no one can break a man who has chosen to be unbothered. No one can conquer the one who has conquered himself. Emotional discipline is not the absence of feeling, it is the decision to rise above it. And that decision, made daily, quietly, intentionally, is the gateway to power. Peace is often misunderstood. In a world where noise, chaos, and drama are seen as indicators of action, those who choose to remain calm are often viewed as passive or weak. But the truth is far different. Peace is a strategic weapon. It is the silent strength that can shift the course of a battle before it even begins. In the face of opposition, adversity, and turmoil, your peace becomes a powerful shield, a shield that not only protects your focus, but also confuses your enemies, leaving them uncertain and vulnerable. When you maintain your calmness, you display an unspoken confidence that is far more formidable than any show of force or emotion. It is not about avoiding challenges or pretending the world doesn't affect you. It's about choosing how you respond. Peace is not the absence of challenges. It is the presence of the right mindset. It is the ability to walk into a storm without flinching, knowing that you are grounded in something far greater than any external circumstance. Your peace disturbs those around you, especially when others are caught in the whirlwind of fear and emotion. While they react to every setback with anger, frustration, or panic, you remain unmoved. Your calmness confuses them because it doesn't fit their narrative. They expect you to react, to rise to the occasion with noise and drama. But when you don't, you disrupt their expectations. They can't figure out how to throw you off balance. They can't understand why you don't react to their provocations. Your peace unsettles them because it reveals something they don't have. Control. Control of their emotions, control of their reactions, control of their purpose. And because of that control, you hold the power in the situation. Your peace is not a sign of inaction. It is the opposite. It is active, deliberate, and intentional. It is the kind of strength that allows you to think clearly when everyone else is scrambling. It is the strength that comes from knowing who you are and what you are here to do. It's the ability to recognize distractions and not let them derail you. It's the wisdom to know that some battles are won not by fighting, but by staying still. When others around you lose their heads, you stay grounded. You understand that your peace gives you the clarity to see opportunities where others see obstacles. It allows you to make decisions based on your vision, not on the noise that surrounds you. The strength of peace is quiet. It doesn't shout for attention, but it is always present. In fact, the more peace you carry, the less you need to prove. The most powerful people in the world are often the most composed. They do not need to flex their power because their presence speaks volumes. When you stay calm, you give yourself the space to think clearly. You are not swayed by the momentary pressures, the fleeting emotions, or the opinions of others. You can take a step back, observe the situation, and respond with wisdom, not reaction. Moreover, peace is a protective force. It shields you from the external chaos that others allow to control them. While others let stress, fear, and anxiety cloud their judgment, you remain unaffected. Peace gives you a steady mind. It allows you to make decisions that are aligned with your true purpose and not based on the impulses that arise from fear or frustration. When you maintain your peace, you prevent external factors from dictating how you feel and how you act. You do not allow the world to shape you. You shape the world through your calmness. Your peace protects your focus. Focus is the most important resource in our fast-paced, distracted world. In order to succeed in any endeavor, you must have the ability to stay focused on your vision. But focus requires peace. Without peace, your mind is constantly jumping from one thought to another, from one problem to another. Your energy is fragmented, and your effectiveness is diminished. However, when you cultivate peace, it works like a charm. You stop wasting energy on things that don't matter, and you channel all of your strength into the pursuit of your goals. Peace allows you to focus on what is important and filter out what is not. The beauty of peace as a strategic weapon is that it doesn't just protect you, it elevates you. In a world filled with noise and confusion, your ability to stay calm becomes a marker of strength. While others struggle to stay afloat, you move forward with purpose, with clarity, and with vision. You are not reacting to the chaos around you. You are creating your own path, carving your way through the storm with unwavering resolve. In the end, peace is the secret weapon of the wise. It is not the absence of struggle, but the ability to remain centered amidst it. It is not the absence of emotion, but the ability to control it. It is not about ignoring the challenges of life. It is about facing them with the quiet strength of someone who knows that nothing in this world can disturb the peace that comes from within. When you stay peaceful, you stay powerful. You remain untouchable, unshaken, and unstoppable, no matter what the world throws your way. Peace is your weapon of choice. It is the strength that allows you to remain focused, stay true to your purpose, and rise above any challenge that comes your way. You are only broken by what you give away. This powerful statement reveals one of the most profound truths about life. We are not defeated by external forces. We are defeated by our own choices. The world may try to shake you, challenge you, or even break you, but it is only when you allow it, when you hand over your power through reactions, explanations, or seeking validation, that you lose your strength. No one can steal what you are not willing to surrender, and yet so many people willingly hand over their power, often without realizing it. At the heart of this concept lies one of the greatest tools of self-mastery, emotional control. When you react impulsively to every insult, every slight, every disagreement, you are essentially handing over control of your emotions to the outside world. The world becomes your puppet master, pulling at your strings, while you, the puppet, respond with anger, frustration, or resentment. This, in turn, drains your energy, your peace, and your focus. Every emotional reaction takes a piece of you, a piece of your personal power, and you may not even notice it until you're left feeling hollow, exhausted, or defeated. There is strength in silence. When someone challenges you, provokes you, or even insults you, your power lies in your ability to remain composed. Your silence is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of self-control. By choosing not to react, you preserve your energy. You do not allow someone else's actions to dictate your emotions. Instead, you stand firm in your own identity, knowing that you do not need to respond to every provocation. The moment you choose not to react, you reclaim your power. You refuse to let someone else control your emotional state. You hold the reins to your own peace and strength. This principle extends beyond emotional reactions. The need for explanation or validation is another way we hand over our power. Far too often we find ourselves in situations where we feel the need to explain our actions or justify our decisions to others. We seek approval, reassurance, or recognition for what we do. We want people to understand our motives, to appreciate our work, to acknowledge our worth. But here's the truth. When you constantly seek validation from others, you relinquish control of your own self-worth. You are not defined by the approval or disapproval of others. You are not less because someone fails to recognize your efforts, and you are not more because someone praises you. When you seek validation, you place your value in someone else's hands. The moment you realize that your worth is not dependent on external acknowledgement, you free yourself. You stop chasing external affirmation and instead find the validation you need within yourself. Your actions, your decisions, and your path are yours alone, and they need no justification. The more you seek validation, the more you allow others to hold the power over your happiness and confidence. It's easy to fall into the trap of seeking constant affirmation, especially in a world that thrives on social approval. The likes, the shares, the comments. They can feel like a lifeline, as if they somehow validate your existence or your efforts. But in truth, seeking validation from others is a dangerous game. Every time you feel the need for external validation, you are giving away a little bit of your peace, your confidence, and your power. You are allowing someone else's opinion to become a part of your self-worth. When you no longer feel the need to explain yourself or seek validation, you will discover a new sense of freedom. A freedom that is not dependent on anyone else's perception of you. At the core of this concept is the realization that your inner strength, your peace, and your power are all self-sustained. No one has the right to take them from you unless you allow it. The world may try to shake you, challenge you, or even break you, but it is up to you whether you choose to remain strong or let go. It is not the actions of others that determine your peace, but your response to them. When you stop reacting, explaining, and seeking validation, you take control of your own destiny. You regain the power to shape your own reality, to direct your energy toward your goals, and to protect your peace. You are the master of your own emotions. You hold the power to decide how you respond to the world around you. When you choose not to react, not to explain, and not to seek approval, you step into your true power. You stop being a slave to external circumstances and become the creator of your own inner world. The more you learn to control your emotions, the more you will be able to navigate the storms of life without losing your strength. The greatest power you can possess is the ability to remain unshaken by the world. You do not need the approval of others to move forward. You do not need to explain yourself to anyone. Your actions speak for themselves, and your value is inherent, not dependent on anyone's recognition. By choosing not to give away your power, you are the one who controls your emotional landscape, and it is in this control that you will find the strength to rise above any obstacle. Unbothered people walk with vision. This statement holds a profound truth about how those who are driven by purpose operate in a world full of distractions, noise, and confusion. They are not swayed by the ever-present chaos of life because they have their eyes set on something far greater than the immediate challenges that surround them. Vision is the guiding force that steers their path. It is the force that aligns their actions with their goals, their purpose with their decisions. They are not concerned with what is happening around them. They are consumed with what is unfolding in their hearts and minds, their vision for the future. Distraction is one of the greatest threats to personal success. It can take on many forms: gossip, negativity, misunderstandings, or even well-meaning but misdirected advice. People will always have opinions, and the world will always present a variety of voices, each trying to claim your attention. However, those who are driven by purpose know the power of selective attention. They understand that to focus on every voice would dilute their own clarity. They do not engage with noise because they understand that noise is designed to derail them from their purpose. Noise is merely a distraction, a temporary disturbance that tries to pull your attention away from what really matters. Unbothered people understand that every argument, every diversion, and every attempt to pull them into a conflict is not a call to respond, but a challenge to their focus. They are aware that arguing with noise is a waste of their energy and time. Instead, they choose to conserve their energy for the things that truly matter. When purpose is calling, there is no time for engaging in trivial disputes or giving weight to fleeting opinion. They understand that responding to every criticism or challenge would only rob them of the energy they need to fulfill their vision. Therefore, they choose not to argue, not to fight battles that don't move them closer to their destination. They stay calm, centered, and focused on their journey. When you are unbothered by the distractions around you, you're able to work with intention. Your actions are deliberate, and your focus is sharp. You can see the bigger picture and understand that the small, temporary inconveniences or opinions are simply part of the process. Unbothered people are not immune to challenges. Rather, they have mastered the art of seeing challenges for what they are, temporary hurdles that do not define them. They know that nothing outside of them can shake the power of their inner vision unless they allow it. Vision provides the clarity to avoid distractions. The more you commit to your vision, the less you will be affected by what others say or do. It is easy to become sidetracked when you allow the opinions of others to shape your decisions. The world is full of distractions designed to make you question your path. But when you walk with vision, these distractions are easily dismissed. You know where you are headed, and you understand that the road will not always be smooth. However, the bumps along the way do not define your journey. They are simply part of the process, and they cannot take you off course unless you allow them to. A person who is unbothered and driven by vision also recognizes that their time is precious. They understand that every moment spent on things that do not align with their purpose is a moment wasted. They do not have the luxury of engaging in things that do not serve their mission. They prioritize their time and focus on activities, people, and opportunities that are in line with their ultimate goal. Their focus is so sharp that they do not allow the noise of the world to steer them off course. The path they walk is theirs, and theirs alone, and they move with determination, purpose, and clarity. In a world that thrives on drama, chaos, and conflict, it takes strength and discipline to stay unbothered. It requires the courage to disregard what others may think or say about you. It requires confidence in your own vision and an unwavering belief in your own purpose. Unbothered people are not easily swayed by the opinions of others because they know that their true worth is not determined by what others think or say. They walk with a quiet confidence, knowing that they are not here to seek approval or validation. They are here to fulfill their purpose, and nothing will distract them from their mission. The beauty of walking with vision is that it gives you a sense of direction. You no longer wander aimlessly through life, reacting to whatever comes your way. Instead, you walk with intention. Your vision becomes the compass that guides your decisions, and your purpose becomes the driving force behind your actions. You understand that everything you do is a step toward your goal, and that goal is far greater than any distraction or setback. Ultimately, unbothered people are not concerned with the opinions of others or the noise that surrounds them, because they know that their true power lies in their ability to stay focused on their vision. They are driven by destiny, not by distraction. They do not argue with noise when purpose is calling, because they understand that every moment spent in distraction is a moment they could be using to move closer to their goal. They walk with purpose, clarity, and vision, and that is what makes them unstoppable. Not reacting is mastery. This statement holds a profound lesson in emotional discipline and the power of self-control. In a world that often thrives on drama, negativity, and constant conflict, the ability to remain calm and unbothered in the face of provocation is a true testament to inner strength. You create a space of peace and clarity that allows you to remain focused, composed, and unaffected by the turmoil that others may be immersed in. In this space, you find your true power. Not in reaction, but in intentional restraint. Every day we are bombarded with countless opportunities to react. People will criticize us, misunderstand us, or try to bring us down. Situations may arise that test our patience, our character, and our resolve. The world seems to be in a constant state of motion, and it is all too easy to get caught up in the whirlwind of emotions, arguments, and conflicts. Reacting to negative energy is a natural instinct. It's human nature to want to defend ourselves, to react when we feel threatened or attacked. But this reaction is often a trap. When we allow ourselves to be swept away by negative emotions, we lose our sense of control. Every time we react, we hand over a piece of our power. We allow someone else's negativity to take hold of our emotions, making us slaves to their energy. The key to rising above drama is in learning to choose our response. The power of non-reaction is not about being passive or indifferent. It is about being intentional in how we respond to life's challenges. It is about recognizing that we have the power to decide whether or not we will allow someone else's words or actions to disturb our peace. When we choose not to react, we take control of our emotional state. We no longer allow others to dictate how we feel. Instead, we maintain our composure, our focus, and our inner peace. Not reacting to negative energy allows us to preserve our mental and emotional resources. Every time we engage in drama, we expend valuable energy. Arguing, defending ourselves, or getting caught up in negativity depletes our energy reserves, leaving us drained and distracted. By choosing not to react, we conserve our energy for what truly matters. We are able to focus on our goals, our relationships, and our personal growth without being distracted by the noise of the world. In addition to preserving our energy, non-reaction allows us to maintain a sense of clarity. When we react impulsively, we often cloud our judgment. Our emotions take over, and we lose sight of the bigger picture. In the heat of the moment, it's easy to say things we don't mean, make decisions we'll later regret, or lose sight of our values. But when we choose not to react, we create space for clarity, and we allow ourselves the time and mental space to process the situation, to reflect on the best course of action, and to respond with wisdom rather than emotion. Mastery of non-reaction also empowers us to stay true to our values. When we react emotionally, we often respond in a way that contradicts our true beliefs and principles. We may say things out of anger, frustration, or hurt that go against the person we strive to be. But when we choose not to react, we remain aligned with our core values. We do not allow ourselves to be pulled into behavior that is inconsistent with who we are. We rise above the level of drama, staying true to our highest self. Not reacting also allows us to avoid getting entangled in other people's issues. Drama thrives when we engage with it. It's like a fire that spreads when it's fed with fuel. When we choose not to react, we refuse to contribute to the drama. We maintain a safe distance from situations that could pull us in, and we avoid the temptation to get caught up in someone else's emotional turmoil. No, this doesn't mean we don't care or that we ignore people's struggles. It simply means we refuse to let their problems disturb our peace. We can be compassionate without getting consumed by the chaos of others' lives. Moreover, by choosing not to react, we maintain our sense of dignity. Reacting impulsively, especially in negative situations, can lead to regret. It can cause us to say things we don't mean, behave in ways that don't reflect our best selves, and lower our standards. But when we remain calm and unbothered, we maintain our integrity. We don't let the actions or words of others pull us into behavior that undermines our dignity. Instead, we hold ourselves to a higher standard, remaining composed and in control at all times. Mastering the art of non-reaction also strengthens our resilience. Every time we face a difficult situation and choose not to react, we build mental and emotional strength. We train ourselves to stay calm under pressure, to respond thoughtfully instead of emotionally, and to face challenges with grace. Over time, this creates a foundation of resilience that helps us handle even the most difficult situations with ease.